What's up, everybody? I'm Brian Tong, and we all know it's about that time of the year right before the new iPhone announcement, and all the pieces of this puzzle have started really coming together. So this is everything we know about the new 2018 iPhones. And if you're probably saying to yourself, I know everything. See, I just let you say that to yourself in your head for a second, because most of us do. We can all say it in our sleep by now, but for those of you who haven't been following along, let's catch you up right here. But there is plenty of new stuff in here as well. Apple is expected to release 3 new iPhones this year with the same edge-to-edge design from last year's iPhone 10. We know this. There will be a 5.8-inch OLED screen model, a lower-priced 6.1-inch LCD-based screen model, and an even larger 6.5-inch OLED screen iPhone. None of these phones will bring any significant new physical form factor, and you really have to think of this as an S year. Now, Bloomberg's latest report says the largest of the 3 iPhones is internally called D33 and will be the new high-end iPhone with its 6.5-inch OLED display that is the largest ever on an iPhone and one of the biggest in the current market. Unless you think an iPad Pro is a phone. Hey, is the iPad Pro a phone? Expect the same glass back, stainless steel edges, and dual camera lens. The big difference is that Apple will bring split screen apps to the 6.5-incher like we've seen on the iPad Pro, specifically to the large screen iPhone to view apps side by side like the Mail and Calendar apps. The current 5.8-inch OLED iPhone will still remain the same size, but the new version, internally called D32, will get upgrades including a processor bump in the form of Apple's new A12 chip and improved cameras according to Bloomberg sources. Now the third iPhone, that will be the cheaper version of the 3, meant to feel like the current OLED iPhones, but it will be a cheaper device meant to act as a replacement for the iPhone 8, and it's codenamed N84. It will include a larger 6.1-inch screen that's an LCD instead of OLED to keep costs down. It will come in multiple colors that have been rumored to include space gray, white, blue, red, and orange, and have an aluminum edge instead of the stainless steel casing of the iPhone 10. And remember, the iPhone 5C, that flopped when they went all colors and plastic casings. But see, they're going to try to convince people it's still as good as the high-end one because it has an aluminum edge. Come on, Apple. Like, we're not dumb. We just appreciate it if you kept it real with us and just called it the iPhone 10. Now, all 3 will have the gesture controls from the iPhone 10 and Apple's TrueDepth camera with Face ID for unlocking your phone, and the amazing new Memoji feature that was able to make it to the iPhone before a group FaceTime video did. Like, which one is more important to you? And please don't say Memojis, but I know you will, just to spite me. Okay, all 3 iPhones are expected to be running Apple's new A12 chip, and if the past is any indication, we should see huge gains in performance and battery life, especially with its new 7nm process that brings the distance between the components and the processor closer together for better performance and less wasted heat, which saves power. So, according to reports, the A12 should be, at the very least, 20% faster while using 40% less power, but it could hit as high as 70% faster based on past Apple processor bumps. We won't know until it's officially announced. Now, multiple reports claim both OLED models will come with 4 gigs of RAM and a maximum 512 gigs of storage, while the 6.1-inch will have a max capacity of 256 gigs of storage and 3 gigs of RAM. And Apple is planning dual SIM card slots for the larger size phones in at least some regions, according to the report that would allow travelers to easily switch between carriers in different countries. So really, we need to talk about this. 3 new iPhones at one keynote, people. This is a pure example of how Apple has changed. Under SJ, come on, their mantra was to make the best product possible. And they did with a single iPhone. And times have changed, I get that. But now the mantra is to make the best product at multiple price points. That's not the same thing. The iPhone 10 would have never existed under Steve Jobs. It just wouldn't. And Apple loyalists can point to the $1 trillion mountain that Apple's built. I mean, it's damn impressive. But this iPhone would never have existed as a brand new release that looks pretty darn similar side by side with clearly 2 superior phones. It just wouldn't. And Apple, you're announcing 3 phones. So, to my point, Bloomberg reports that new iPhone lineup has given Apple a naming conundrum, according to people familiar with the deliberations. See, we have 3 iPhones that all look similar to one another. They all have Face ID, but one is cheaper than the other 2 and has a different screen and a different camera, and they are 3 different sizes. Y'all get that? Yeah, the report says while planning the new iPhones, Apple has altered the names multiple times, and at one time considered calling the 2 premium phones the iPhone XS, showing they are an upgrade from last year. But we all have to remember, that's a 10, that's not an X, so XS won't work. Instead, that's an iPhone XS. See, they even have been juggling around using the Plus label for the larger model, but now they have 2 larger screens. But I already solved this problem for them earlier in the show. Okay, let's go with iPhone XS. Okay, I'm sorry. The iPhone XS. Oh, hold on. Wait a second. The iPhone XS. Yes, that is it. The iPhone XS. All right, okay. Fine, I see you, grumpy guy who's not having any fun right now. For you, let's just say iPhone XS. Then they got to go with iPhone 10. Come on, Apple, do it for me. Do it for me. And then finish things off with the iPhone 10 Plus. See what you got yourself into, Apple? Now, there were also recent reports that the new iPhones might get Apple Pencil support, but according to analyst Ming-Chi Kuo, the 2018 models will not support this because it doesn't have a good user experience right now, according to the note. Kuo also adds that he still believes the 6.1-inch LCD iPhone will be available slightly later and after the OLED iPhones based on its production schedule. All right, Apple's announcement isn't official, but most of us are now targeting September the 12th as the iPhone keynote date. That would be a Wednesday, with pre-orders on September the 14th. That would be a Friday, and then a release date of September the 21st, the following Friday. And none of this information is definite, but it's really everything we know about the coming 2018 iPhones. So, what did you think? Is there something missing for you? Is there a feature you want to see? And are you excited or not so hot on the new iPhones? Let me know in the comments, like this guy. And I'd also like to know what you had for lunch too, because sometimes I just need someone to talk to. And we know this is not the only thing that will be at the keynote, but that's for another video. All right, so if you ever want to dig even deeper with everything Apple, you can check out my weekly audio podcast, The Apple Bits XL. And if you'd like to support the podcast and the other content I'm pumping out weekly, check out my Patreon at patreon.com/Brian Tong. And thank you so much for all of your support. If you like what you see, come on, y'all, thumbs up, subs up, and hit that bell for some of that ring-a-ling-a-ding-tong. And whenever new stuff drops, I'll be making a buzzing sound in your pants. All right, thanks for watching. I'm Brian Tong, and I'll catch y'all next time for some of those bits and bytes inside the world of Apple. Take care, be safe, peace.